the last lesson, you learned how important first impressions are. But the process doesn't stop there. You have to continue to convey the best possible impression throughout the interview. Quite apart from what you say, the way you say it will have a big impact on your interviewer's opinion of you and of whether you're the best person for the job. I want to make it clear that I'm not suggesting that you put on an act. Be yourself, but your personality has many different aspects. You want to make sure it's the positive ones that shine in an interview. Be your authentic self, but don't ignore the numbers you see here. This slide shows the results of a survey by CareerWorld. Here are the qualities that most influence interviewers in order of importance. Now, all 5 of these qualities are important, but the order they are listed is the order of importance to interviewers. How you come across in the interview is the single most important factor in whether you get the job. So what do you need to do? There are a few essential qualities you need to project. Make an effort to give answers to your interviewer's question. Don't ramble, and don't give one-word answers. Rambling gives the impression that you're not capable of thinking clearly, that you can't order your thoughts. On the other hand, one-word answers give the impression that you're bad-tempered or uncooperative. So if an interviewer comments, "I see you trained originally in marketing," you don't just say yes or "yes, I did." That closes the door on the interviewer. Instead, volunteer details. Provide an answer that opens the door for the interviewer to continue the conversation. You've got all the right experience. Your qualifications are better than any of the other applicants. You have brilliant references and you've done your research, and it shows. There's just one problem. You give the impression that you don't believe in yourself. You keep saying things like, "I'm sorry, I haven't got much experience with that software. I've only been using it for a few months." Remember, modesty is not a virtue in an English language interview. Of course, that doesn't mean you should be arrogant, but don't apologize for yourself. If you do, you're inviting the interviewer to share that same low opinion of yourself. So if the interviewer asks you about that software, instead of apologizing, try, "Yeah, sure, I know it well. I've been using it for the last few months." Put yourself in the interviewer's shoes. She interviews one applicant who projects life and energy, comes across as positive and capable. Another applicant sits in the chair like a deflated balloon. His voice drones on in a monotone. So who would you want to hire? Who would you want to work with? Who would you want to be on your team? So stay upbeat, sit up straight, speak clearly, and let your eyes sparkle with the prospect of an exciting new job. Make eye contact, and if there's more than one interviewer in the meeting, remember to make eye contact with them all. Enthusiasm. It's closely related to energy. You can't really have one without the other. You saw from the CareerWorld survey that enthusiasm towards the job and the position is important to interviewers. So how do you transmit enthusiasm? The best way is by being genuinely interested in what you and the interviewer are talking about. Remember, you're having a business conversation. Take responsibility for being a good conversation partner. Put your heart into it. If you're genuinely interested, you shouldn't find expressing enthusiasm too difficult. Just make sure you let it show. Have you ever watched two friends talking at a coffee house? You may have noticed how they share the same posture, hand gestures, tone, even rate of speech. You can tell when two people are in deep conversation by the way they mirror each other's body language. Mirroring typically happens below our conscious awareness, but experienced salespeople use it consciously to build rapport with a customer. Therapists use it to better relate to their patients' feelings. You can use mirroring, in an interview to build rapport. Watch this clip from career counselor Ken Lloyd. He explains how mirroring works.
What are some ways of building trust? What should we be listening for in a job interview?
Yeah, in a number of studies that I had done with Dr. Donald Moyne, who's a sales psychologist, a terrific guy, we found that super salespeople, very persuasive people, do something called mirroring or pacing. So when they're meeting with someone, and you can do this in a job interview, they would mirror the person they're meeting with. So if the person is talking quickly, like I'm kind of talking right now, they're going to talk just as quickly as I am. Tell me about that job. Well, I had that job. I had a lot of promotions. But if the interviewer is talking slowly, they will slow it down. Because frankly, if I'm with a slow-talking interviewer, tell me, Ken, about your work experiences. And I say, gee, I'm glad you asked me that question. I got promoted 3 times, then I did this project. That person, I think, not my kind of person. Probably a little flim-flam. And the same works the opposite way. So what you really do is you want to pace that person's body language, their style. You're nodding, they nod, you put your hand here, you follow what they're doing. And what happens is the message is, this guy has a lot of similarities to me. I can trust him. We trust people like ourselves. That's the hidden message. You're selling your labor and you're using the most powerful persuasive techniques you can find.
Now, Ken is not recommending you deliberately copy every move exactly. Just be aware of the power of mirroring and use it to build empathy with your interviewer. I do want to caution you, however, be careful to avoid mirroring negative body language. Not every professional who conducts job interviews is good at it. You might have an interviewer who's unfocused or seems disinterested, or a grumpy interviewer who's had a bad day. Or the interviewer may be testing you by being unpleasant. Don't fall into the trap of mirroring that kind of behavior. In our next lesson, we'll look at another valuable asset you can use to create rapport with an interviewer, the fine art of small talk. See you then.